Hi everyone, Nathan here with the eBookReader.com. So I decided to redo the Onyx Nova Pro video review because they updated the software shortly after posting the initial review. So things look quite a bit different now. A lot of the features are still the same, but I wanted to go ahead and do a second video anyway. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So the Onyx Nova Pro has a 7.8-inch e-ink screen with 300 ppi. It's also got the color adjusting front light, which I'll show shortly. It's got the Android 6.0 operating system, 32 gigabytes of storage space, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and then it's also got the Wacom touchscreen, so you can use the stylus. It's got the button below the screen. You use it to go back. If you hold the button down, it'll turn the front light on and off. Then the back of the device has a plastic material. Overall, the build quality feels pretty solid, but the plastic does make creaking noises when you handle it. It's got USB-C port on the bottom, power button on the top. It doesn't have any external speakers or the micro SD card slot, though you can connect speakers with the Bluetooth. So the only difference between this one and the regular Nova is the Wacom touchscreen. Let's go ahead and talk about the front light now. So this is kind of a look at the new interface. They have the front light adjustable from the eBook app now. You've got the option to use the cool front light, or you can switch it over to the orange front light for night reading. You can also blend the two colors to get kind of a mix between the two. So you got the different settings with that. Overall, the front light looks quite good. There are a few slightly brighter areas, but it's quite subtle. I do like being able to mix the two colors like at night. I'm not really a fan of the orange color, but when you take the cool color and you add a little bit of warmth to it, you get a little nice, softer, more papery kind of look for reading at night. And the front light does get really dim for reading at night, which is nice. Alright, so let's talk more about the interface now. This is a look at the home screen. It automatically defaults to the library list. You've got the quick settings menu up here. If you tap the menu bar, you got some few different things here. You can access Bluetooth, turn on your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, turn on power saver mode. You've got the recent apps list, so you can jump around between recent apps. Back button up here if you don't want to use the hardware button below. You've got the disabled capacitive touch button right there, so if you want to just use the stylus and not use the capacitive screen at all. You got A2 mode, turns on and off right there. And then you can adjust the front light, of course, as well. So this device, it does have the option to enable Google Play. It's not enabled by default, but that is an option. And you also have a basic app store on here that comes with a few reading apps and some other apps. You got the storage section here, which is basically like a file manager. You can move stuff around, access your notes. Got the notes section. I'll talk about that a little more later. It has a shop on here. It's like a Chinese ebook store, though, so I have it disabled. Still would like to get rid of the icon, though. But from the home screen here, you got your ebook list. And then you can choose to actually open your ebooks with different apps if you wanted to use a different app like CoReader or something. But the built-in Neo Reader app works quite well. It has a completely new look now that they redid the software. So most of the features are the same, though. I mean, you can use the pinch zooming gestures to increase and decrease font size. It works a little bit better this way. You can fine-tune exactly what font point size you would like. You can also adjust it from the settings menu. It goes a little bit bigger increments. You got bookmarks up here, so you can add and remove bookmarks. So this is kind of a look at the new layout of the interface. You got your tab documents on top like before, but they don't stay open all the time. It just opens when you access the menu here, which is nice. You can jump around between up to 4 documents at once with the tabbed view. Then up here along the top edge, you got the settings menu for some additional settings. They added this with the new software as well, where you can set different custom tap zones for paging. It has the text-to-speech built in as well. You're going to have to use Bluetooth headphones or speakers to use the text-to-speech because it doesn't have any speakers. This icon, you can customize the refresh rate. It also has the fast page turn mode, which actually works quite well. I'm not seeing much ghosting with that. So that's definitely an option. There's also a search, so you can run searches in your ebooks. It'll give you a list of the results, and then you can sort of go through them with this little dial at the bottom. You can scroll through the different results. It'll take you to different pages. You can access back out of this when you want to. Then you've also got the text-to-speech up there. That headphone icon is for text-to-speech. You got the front light adjustment from within the ebook app now as well. The little page progress dial down here, you can skip through chapters by using the arrows. And then you can enter page numbers right here as well if you wanted to jump to a specific page. Then you've also got the multi-page view, so it'll show you up to 9 documents or up to 9 pages at once. And you've also got the 4-page option as well. There's also a 1-page view as well. And then once again, if you tap the page numbers in the bottom of the page, you can enter a specific page number to jump to. And then you've also got the history right here. So it'll save all your previous pages that you visited while the book was open, and then you can go forward and back through your previous pages. It's also got the auto page turner, Over here, you got the table of contents. So they got the new look of the table of contents with this window that pops out with the new software here. And it also has your bookmarks down here. Any page you've added bookmarks, any page you've added annotations, highlights to, it'll show up right here. You can also edit them, export them. It'll also show your pages you've written on. But with ebooks, you can't write directly on the page, but it does have this side note feature. With PDFs, you can write directly on the page, but with ebooks, you can't write directly on the page. You can write on the side note, and then you can export that side note. It's got similar features as the Note app. You can still page forward and back while you're using it. You've got some of the different pen sizes, the different shapes to use. You can add additional pages. You can actually switch it left to right. You can also go full screen, get rid of the menu bar there so you can see the top. And you can also page forward in both of these, so you got your different settings there. Actually, the notes tied to your book now instead of the individual pages, so it works a little bit easier that way. You can use the stylus or your finger to add highlights. They got some new features on the newer software here. You've got the different lines. You got the squiggly line, dotted line, solid line. You can also add the highlight with the gray or the black highlighting. You can also add text notes to your highlights. So they do have some different options for this, and you can export those. Holding down on a word, you'll open up the dictionary window. It uses Star Dictionary. You can load some other dictionaries in there as well. You've also got the other options down there. You can search Wikipedia, run searches in your book for the highlighted word, add the text notes, highlights, that kind of thing. So on the format section here, we got a new look now for your text adjustment window. So the font choices on here are the one thing that is odd. So like you got all these font choices. I think they're mostly just system fonts, and they're not really that accurate. Like this says serif. That's the weirdest looking serif font I've ever seen. A lot of them look exactly the same, even though they have different names. You can load your own fonts on here though, so that's definitely an option, but I don't really get these preloaded fonts at all. Like, why would you ever use this for reading ebooks? They're like not ebook fonts at all. They're just some weird random selection here. There's also a contrast adjustment option, so you can adjust the boldness of the font. And they got this new feature where you can use two-page view, so you can view two pages at once in landscape mode. And then you've also got the other options, just to use regular landscape mode with one-page view, of course. Got the different line spacing options in here, so you can control that as well. So overall, the layout options are pretty good on here. Overall, it's a good ebook app, supports a wide range of formats, has a good amount of features, so it's definitely a nice app. So let's talk about the Note app now on the Nova Pro. You can change the menu position from the left to the right. You've got some different templates included. You can also add your own templates. The writing works quite well, and nice and responsive and quick. It does have kind of a different feel with the glass screen. It's just a little bit slicker than, writing on regular paper would be, but it does work pretty well. You've got the different pressure sensitive pen, non-pressure sensitive pen. You've got the different shapes on here you can use. And it's got the eraser here. It's got different options. You got the moving eraser, the stroke eraser. So the moving eraser is really literal. It'll just remove what you got here. So there's a button on the stylus that you can push to use the eraser. Also has the end where you can use the tip as the eraser. I actually like using the stroke eraser best if you're just using like writing notes, because you can erase full lines at once. You've got this tool to resize and move stuff around. It's a little bit jaggedy when you're moving it around, but I mean, it does work. The Note app also has the option to input text with the keyboard if you wanted to get some text input on here, and it even corrected my typo there. You've also got the option to increase the line size. You got all these different sizes from like 1 to 20 as far as the line thickness goes, so you can have it light and dark and easily readable if you want. You can have nice and thin lines if you're doing a drawing or something. You got the different colors, so like obviously these other colors, they aren't going to show up on the e-ink screen, but like when you export the note on a different device with color screen, it'll show up red. You got the different colors also with white as well. So if you can write on the screen with your palm on the screen. People are always asking about that. It has the palm rejection. It's never been an issue with these Wacom touchscreens, but it also has the option to disable capacitive touch right here if you want to, not accidentally touch the menu items or something like that. So you can export them as PNG, PDF. You've got the refresh icon down here, which will just refresh the page. Sometimes you get some after image effects with the ghosting. You got the undo, redo, which is nice. You can add pages to your document. So this is one of the new features they added with the new software, is the ability to convert your handwritten text into typed text. It does have a bit of issues. You can see right here, I was testing it out. Kind of jumbles some of the words together, and there are no line breaks. Interestingly though, the last sentence though with no spaces, it actually added spaces in the proper locations. That's kind of funny. Another thing here, you got the rename. You can just hold down up there to rename your note file, which is easy. You can also rename it from the main menu there. And then you've also got the option to jump around to your other notes that you've had recently opened right here. So like your latest recently opened documents will show up right here, and you can jump around to them. Makes it a little bit easier. You've also got the text search. You can search within your documents. It's got that recognition feature. You can view the multiple pages at once. Got full screen view as well if you want to get rid of the menus altogether and write on the screen that way, and then you exit back out using the back button. One of the new features that turned up with the 2.1 software update is this navigation ball. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I mean, you got this little icon you can move around the screen, put it wherever you want. It'll bring up different options for your settings. You got the recent apps menu right there. You can use it to go back. So I don't exactly understand where you use this, but I mean, because you have the menu bar up there anyway, but I can see it being useful in some search situations, of course. Like I said, you got the basic app store on here. It's got a few reading apps included if you didn't want to install the Google Play Store. So the Google Play Store is an option, but you do have some easy way to get some ebook apps downloaded just right away using their little app store as well. So like the Kindle app, I got that out of there. So with the new software here, the page turning is working better on the Kindle app. I had an issue with the 2.0 software where it sometimes wouldn't recognize page turns, but now it seems to be recognizing page turns every time. So that's definitely an advantage with the newer software. You do get a little bit of weirdness with third-party apps. It just kind of depends on the individual app how well it's going to work. Like this Kindle app actually works quite well because the font's nice and dark when you're using the Amazon Ember Bold font, so it looks quite good. Some other fonts like Scrib, people are always asking about. Scrib, unfortunately, they just have really light fonts and it doesn't show up that good on the screen. They need an ink theme. Quick look at a comic. So comics are usable on here. It just depends like what app you're going to be using. You get a fair amount of flashing with this app. This is the Kindle app. And it does work well enough to be usable, though. You can also use the panel view to sort of zoom in, make the text a little bit easier to read on the screen here. So again, it's just kind of hit or miss with third-party apps, how well they're going to work. With the e-ink screen, people are always wondering how well they're going to work, but I mean, it just sort of takes some experimenting. They do have some different optimized settings that you can use. This is like a sheet music app. I think I would rather just use the NeoReader app using the PDF because it's a PDF, but you get less flashing with that app. But I mean, you got the different options with apps. It just sort of depends. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up this video right here. Check out the ebookreader.com for the full written review for some additional details and to ask some questions. I'll also be posting some comparison reviews. I'm going to compare this with the larger Note Pro when it gets released. They're basically the exact same. It just has a larger screen. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.